Man, they're taking crazy. Hello Blazers, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian. How guys doing today? Welcome to a brand new video and welcome to yet another video of a man slowly going insane trying to understand what the hell is going on around him. First of all, I just want to say thanks everybody for all the support I'm getting on my channel recently and stuff like that. The views have been insane and honestly I could capitalize on it and make daily updates, but I just don't have the mental power to do it. I'm literally going insane every single day. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but here we are. I sat down and today I will try to give you my best assessments of what happened in the last week, because the last week in Russia, I feel like Russia has actually gone completely nuts. This is like, it's absolute insanity. I guess we're gonna start off with the main thing that just happened today as I'm recording this video. Basically, apparently, Russia just got bigger. Now it has more territories, because the territories that were occupied by the Russian government now belong to Russia, because Putin signed an official agreement with the leaders of those territories, according to which they're now full-fledged territories of Russia. He also gave a speech, which was actually quite uneventful in my opinion. I mean, he says some very classic lines about how, you know, the West is trying to destroy Russia and it's always been trying to destroy Russia. It's like the West's main goal, actually. He also talks about all the sins of the West, you know, about the colonization of India and Africa, the opium wars in China. I mean, he literally mentioned everything. And I guess the implication is that if the West has done terrible stuff in the past, we can do that too in the year 2022. That's very sound. And yeah, there wasn't much else in there. He said that the West is also essentially trying to sissified Russia and push the agenda of, you know, transgenderism and there being more than two genders.
Разве мы хотим, чтобы у нас здесь, в нашей стране, вместо мамы и папы был родитель номер 1, номер 2, номер 3? Совсем спятили уже. Чтобы им вдалбливали, что кроме женщины и мужчины якобы существуют еще некие гендеры.
And it's kind of wild that these are not the takes I'm seeing on like 4chan poll, but it's coming from the president. So if you're a transphobe, congratulations, you're now officially spreading Russian propaganda by using your talking points. But yeah, other than that, there was really nothing new in his speech. He did not announce a war. It's still a special military operation, of course. A lot of people also expected Putin to announce martial law in Russia, which also didn't happen. So the speech was kind of a nothing burger, and I really got nothing to say about it. As far as the joining of territories goes, huge disclaimer, there's a law in the Russian criminal code that basically prohibits any speech that can be dangerous to the territorial sovereignty of Russia. So essentially, if you say that these territories are not Russia, you'll get a felony on your ass. This has happened before with Crimea, by the way. When Russia took Crimea in 2014, some people were actually jailed for saying Crimea is not Russia, for just this law in particular. So what can I say, man? I just think it's embarrassing, quite frankly, and the fact is that Russia is already such a huge fucking country. We have a ton of cities which are just underdeveloped, underfunded, falling fucking apart, and instead of actually fixing those cities and putting money to good use, instead we need more territories. And now all the Russian taxpayer money is going to be going to those territories to rebuild them and contain them instead of fixing Russia proper. But I mean, am I surprised at this point? I'm definitely not. It's not like through the last 20 years I've gotten the impression that the Russian government cares about fixing Russia. So yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous, and honestly, in my opinion, I feel like these territories will not have this new status for very long. Just my 2 cents. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, that was several felonies in there. Let's move on to the next topic at hand, which is the situation at the borders between Russia, Georgia, and Kazakhstan right now. It's absolutely insane. So, since Russia announced the partial mobilization, as they call it, people have been leaving Russia like crazy. I mean, I'm already seeing the effects of this myself. First of all, the rent prices here in Tbilisi, Georgia have already increased insanely, and I feel terrible about it, honestly. But also, just the amount of people I know from Russia who are like, you know, either friends of mine or just people I know, the amount of people who actually started leaving now and have already left, it's absolutely fucking insane. Like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I'm not having that much fun. What can I say? I mean, I literally have a fucking I have a refugee living in my apartment right now. I have a friend who came from my hometown. Basically, according to the data, almost 300,000 Russians have already left. It's mostly men because obviously they're susceptible to being drafted to the army, and the border right now is literally insane. For example, the border with Georgia, the line I think right now reaches about 20 kilometers or something. People are literally spending days at the border, and also there's reports of Russian police organizing like stops at the border where they stop everybody and you literally have to pay a bribe to go further to get to the border. On the Russian-Georgian border as well, there's been reports of military vehicles moving in, apparently to contain the situation, to make sure that people don't break through the border or something like that. It's absolutely insane. People are standing there for days upon ends with no food, no water. I mean, a lot of people already describing the situations at the borders right now as a humanitarian catastrophe, as a humanitarian crisis. And yeah, the things that people are going through there are absolutely insane. I actually have a friend from my hometown as well who just crossed the border like 2 days ago. This motherfucker is red, like his face is red. He looks like he went through a goddamn desert because he was standing like outside under the sun for days. I think my next video is actually going to be an interview with him about just the situation overall and what it was like to cross the Russian border, so be on the lookout for that. I personally think it's quite interesting, it's very historical, and it's obviously an experience that should be talked about, and who else will make this type of content if not me, you know? And it's no joke, everybody started leaving Russia. At the moment, a lot of YouTubers, for example, left Russia. First of all, my fellow YouTubers that make videos in the same genre as me, you know, speaking in English, talking about Russia, you probably know them. Like Nikki Proshin, for example, he recently announced that he left Russia, he's in Turkey right now. Natasha from Natasha's Adventures has also arrived to Georgia. And actually even a lot of famous Russian-speaking YouTubers who are like in the Russian YouTube sphere, they've also started leaving. And some of those who left actually were doing advertisements for the Kremlin before. Like they were working with the Russian governments and stuff like that. So they're obviously being taken the piss out of right now. It's glorious, but obviously the situation is fucked. So yeah, we'll have a full video about the border thing soon, probably with an interview, but for now, just know that the situation is insane. And I mean, honestly, guys, at this point, I don't know what people expect from my videos because I'm just a guy who's going... I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, quite honestly. But I guess I have an audience of people who like to see what people like me, or Russians who are, you know, against all of this shit, are thinking right now. So I guess this is the type of content I'm gonna be continuing to produce. Now, when I mentioned Russia going absolutely mental this last week, I'm not even just talking about the government, but the people itself. I mean, there's some things happening right now in Russia that are unprecedented, and we've never seen this before, ever. First of all, there's been massive protests in Dagestan, which is actually a republic of Russia that's located in the northern Caucasus. It's pretty close to Georgia. And there's been actually pretty big protests in Dagestan where people were fighting the police was shooting in the air. It got pretty violent, and it honestly never happens in Russia. That's the thing. When you gotta realize is that whenever we usually mention protests in Russia, it's usually a peaceful process. Russians just go out and walk around with maybe some banners or something, if they're brave, because if you have a banner in Russia, you get arrested immediately at a protest. But people don't like clash with the police or anything like that, but in Dagestan, it actually happens. So this is already pretty unprecedented, to say the least. There's also been a lot of reports of military draft offices in Russia being set on fire. There's been about like at least 7 cases of this in the last week. If you don't know what a military draft office is, it's basically what's usually used during the regular times to just accept conscripts into the conscript army. But right now those offices are actually being used to mobilize people to Ukraine. So some people decided to take action in burning it down, which is also wild. And I think by far the craziest thing that happened recently in the last week, well, there was also a school shooting in Russia, which was terrible too. Yeah, what can I say? But it's not directly connected to the topic, I guess. But of the things that are, this was by far the most insane thing. A 25-year-old guy in Russia called Ruslan Zinin went to a military draft office in the city of Ust-Ilimsk, that is in the Irkutsk Oblast, Irkutsk region, and basically he came and tried to kill the head of the local military draft office. He shot him with a sawed-off shotgun, and he told the people that were in the room that you guys are leaving, nobody's going to, you know, die today. So I guess this guy's idea was that doing this will essentially stop the people from being drafted and mobilized. I'm just gonna say that it's actually crazy that the situation in Russia has reached this sort of level at this point where people feel that they want to do this. You gotta just imagine how tense the things are in the country right now when people are going out and doing this and burning draft offices. I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I feel like, honestly, you know guys, I made that video which I called the Russia that I grew up in doesn't exist anymore. To me, it feels like Russia doesn't exist anymore at all. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is going on? Here's the point I want to get to. The thing is, guys, throughout this entire time for the last half a year, I've been basically treading the line for a while, you know. I only say special military operation, stuff like that, because I have family and stuff in Russia, you know. I don't want to ruin shit for them. I also don't want to ruin things for myself, because a lot of my fans basically, you know, want me to sacrifice myself for content, which is, it's a noble pursuit, I don't disagree, but people basically think that the world is easier than it actually is. I cannot even count the amount of messages that I've received that said that Roman needs to apply for political asylum, you'll get it like 1000%. I don't think I will. People think that applying for asylum is so easy, like, I'm like, oh, I just showed you, yeah, I made a, you know, a video here about Russian propaganda, yeah, give me German citizenship right now. I don't quite think it works that way, and from actually talking to people who've had experience with the system of asylum and stuff like that, it is very difficult. The possibility of you getting denied is insanely big. And overall, this is a process that that takes months upon months, and also you have to be in the European country, for example, if you want to do that, which I'm not in, obviously. So I don't think people understand the position that I'm in. I just don't think I'm in a safe position, honestly, and people think it's very easy to get out of it, and it's not. But I feel like that at this point, with everything that's going on, I kind of feel like treading that fucking line gets harder and harder, because at this point, just calling it like it is already fucking dangerous, you know what I mean? So I literally feel like I'm at a crossroads. Like, I don't want to fucking sacrifice my entire life and freedom for content, but also I don't want to fucking lie to myself and lie to people and not say what I think. It's really like being rational and being passionate, and those things are always fighting inside of me, and I'm going fucking insane. And specifically, I would say one of the reasons why, honestly, in the recent weeks, I feel like shit when I'm recording videos. Because every time I'm recording a video, not only do I have to go back to all of these news that are already driving me insane 24/7 that I'm reading on my phone and shit, but also it's not very safe to talk about. And the thing is, I don't want to become a political YouTuber. This was never my aim, honestly. I have more fun making videos about like traveling, or just telling about, you know, funny little things regarding to Russia or like, you know, post-Soviet countries. But obviously, in the points of history that we're in now, that content cannot exist. But I'm not trying to be a news channel or a political channel. I'm trying to be me. And I'm trying to give you guys my experience on what the fuck is going on. So I don't even know what point I'm making, quite honestly. I'm just saying that it's a very tough time right now. It's a very tough time right now to speak the truth. And it's also a very tough time right now to be rational and actually preserve yourself. Too many things make me anxious these days, and I live in the constant state of not knowing not even what's gonna happen like in a week or in a year. I live in a state of not knowing what the fuck is gonna happen tomorrow. And like I was saying in the video I made about leaving Russia 6 months ago, where I said that I genuinely do not know like what the fuck is gonna happen to me in a year. Like, I don't know, like, straight up if I'm gonna be fucking alive in a year. I'm not even being ironic. Like, it's fucked. It's fucked. But again, I'm just gonna be trying to do my best with producing content, you know, giving information to you guys and giving my insights and my point of view on everything, and just, you know, telling you guys how I feel, because I guess people care, which is quite surprising to me, quite honestly, because I don't think I'm that interesting. But yeah, I will continue making these fucking videos, and we'll get through this somehow. I don't know how, but we will. So yeah, just once again, guys, I want to thank everybody for supporting this channel, supporting me right now. A lot of the money that I'm making right now goes to supporting my family in Russia and stuff like that, so it's very important to me. And yeah, I'll be around, okay? We'll get through this. I hope so. Anyways, guys, yeah, I guess this is gonna be pretty much it for today's video, though. I hope you guys did enjoy it. It seems like the time for fun videos on the NFKRZ channel is over. At least for a while. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to slap the like on it. As well, guys, if you want to support me additionally, instead of donating to my Patreon, because I got a lot of people donating to my Patreon, don't do that, please, because I can't get that money right now. Instead, donate to me to the link down in the description on YouTube memberships. It's like YouTube's own version of Patreon. That way, I'm actually able to receive it nicely and everything. So yeah, if you want to support me or whatever, do it that way, not Patreon. And yeah, I'm very appreciative of everybody who does it. But yeah, guys, that's it. Stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.